We are back. We are back. We're here, your pals, the professionals and animal lovers show. Valerie, Tommy D, and our new friend Mallory. Oh my goodness, Valerie
It
and
rhymes.
Mallory. It rhymes.
Rhyme.
I love rhymes. So listen, if you've never been with us before, where you been, everybody? If you haven't, we are your professionals and animal lovers program. We believe that the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. I always say it mirrors that bond between the animals and the pets and their pet parents, and the animal lovers bond is just as strong. So we always want to support one another in business, rescue, and advocacy by building a compassionate network so that everyone wins.
Especially the
Oh
animal.
my goodness. I got one. Hold on, I got a pom pom. We gotta get you a pom pom, Mallory.
Fairy
Prerequisite for
fingers.
the show.
Fairy
But
fingers. Okay.
oh yeah, jazz hands. But you got like a lavender sweater on.
Yeah, I lavender shirt to go with my color. Yeah.
So you knew what was up. You were paying attention. She understood the assignment. Everybody, Mallory Sandler, Mal's Pals is here with us. Well, we're fired up to have you here. I'm excited to meet you. And because you and Valerie already know each other, so you got Mal's Pals and Val's Pals and Tommy D and the nonprofit sector connector, the whole thing. All right, so we're gonna get into this conversation. Valerie, since you know Mallory more than I do, because I only know her for like 7 minutes. Why don't you set up a bit of an introduction and let's tell some stories together?
Okay. There's so much going on in my head right now. So where do I begin? First of all, I want to let everyone know that as someone who is enveloped in this whole world of holistic pet care, in fact, I just attended the Dr. Judy Morgan, the Natural Health Expo, Pet Expo. I did it virtually. I have to be there next year, but there were so many great, awesome, cool things that I learned. And, really, nature has a lot of answers for us, if not all, that we just haven't uncovered yet. The point is this: I have seen way too many pets. I've heard from firsthand neighbors. Actually, one of the young ladies who works for us had a horrific experience with a dental. Sometimes the pets don't recover from anesthesia. You lose your pet. When we bring them to the vet and for the dental work, they always put them under anesthesia. Another one, this is the one who works for me, her dog immediately the blood pressure dropped like to a really dangerous level, and they had to I don't know the exact word, but basically reverse the anesthesia, as they didn't even get one tooth cleaned. So when I first heard about this dental-free anesthesia, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Because there are dogs who it's just too far gone, the plaque and the tartar and all of that, to just do like a little finger toothbrush thing, right? But to know that you can avoid the risk of anesthesia, and your dog is going to be comfortable, and this service comes to you, I was like so blown away. And I'm going to introduce you in 1 second, Mallory, but I also want to say that this is also a story about resilience and fortitude and overcoming challenges because she's had quite a few bumps in the road, but here she is smiling and doing great things. I see a question already, I think,
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So everybody, I just, listen, I speak really fast and ideas come out of my head before they're fully thought out. So I just watched my partner say that Mallory Sandler is here to talk about dental-free anesthesia, which means you get anesthesia, but you don't get any dental care. But I think what you meant to say was anesthesia. But I think you meant
Ah,
anesthesia when you dental. So I love that because that was so fun. So
everything's free. It's just a free service.
Oh my
here comes the anesthesia with nothing else.
Right.
I had
I
to call
blew
it
it.
out.
I blew it. All right, start over. No.
No way, man. That's all recorded. Mallory, take it away. Who are you?
Well, okay, so it's anesthesia-free dental cleaning, and we are a mobile business. I've been around since really October of 2023, but we really got off the ground running in January of 2024, and we have now serviced over 2,400 animals. in the
Wow.
upstate. I'm really, really proud. And I'll tell you a little bit. Thank you. I'll tell you a little bit about what it is that I really, really want to do with Mal's Pals and what we're providing. There's been a lack of understanding and education, I think, within the pet community about the importance of oral care.
Mm,
And just like humans, if we take care of it or prevent buildup of plaque and tartar, we're preventing heart disease, kidney disease, periodontal disease. Um, that being said, I really want to educate the community on oral health. Now,
yes.
the anesthesia free, that is important. Okay. So anesthesia can be risky for humans and animals. But there is a certain point that they need it. So I like to say we work hand in hand. I'm not trying to replace anesthesia cleaning because sometimes that you have to have that, especially if you get plaque and buildup under the gum line. So what we do, my goal is to start educating people on how to probably take care of their pet's health starting at the age of 1 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs and cats, cats get their adult teeth pretty early, within 6 months. So they're in there, they're ready to go. We need to start taking care of them. Dogs, it's around 7 months. So same thing. I'd like to start teaching people to take better care of their pet's teeth before it gets to the point where they go to the vet, open the mouth, and that's when they say, oh, they need a dental.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
plaque builds up, and if it builds up long enough, it goes under the gum line.
Mm.
Okay, that's when you start to see the issues, and they need to be put under for that. Because listen, if we wouldn't try to have anything done in the gum line without any numbing rate, oh my gosh,
Laughing gas, knock me out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, dogs, they don't brush their teeth twice a day like we do.
Right.
We have
No,
to.
Cheeto never brushes his teeth. I know he does. I never seen because all he does is sleep. I was just commenting on this now. This dog, our guy Cheeto, he was like, I said to my wife before, yeah, I'll send you pictures later, Mallory. So he's our rescue guy, and his Instagram is my guy Cheeto. But he just lays around all day. Like even if he wanted to brush his teeth, he'd be sleeping, so he couldn't do it. Because like I can't believe the amount of sleep this dog gets. Like he just wants to lay around. But is he old already? He's 2. So how old does that make him? Like 14?
Yeah, 14. But that's why
Wow.
they start them young.
Yeah.
Young.
That's why they say let sleeping dogs lie. And I mean, why wouldn't you, right? But also, I will say this, my favorite thing whenever we have a customer that they ask, like, oh, what should I give my dog for the teeth, whatever, my first choice is always, always, always a raw meaty bone. And I cannot even tell you how many customers have come in, they're in shock. They can't believe how much it helps them. And once a week, give a raw meaty bone. I have one ready to go in my refrigerator right now from a locally sourced ostrich farm. He's going to get a rib, which also has a decent amount of like meat on it, and it's really good for the gums as well. But yeah, so my point is this, Mal, we should team up because after your clients get this amazing, and the before and after pictures are unbelievable, send them my way and let's get them some raw meaty bones to maintain that,
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to bring that up. There's a lot of they don't realize that's the dogs chew on bones and things, not just because they like it, it's yummy, it's fun. It's actually cleaning their teeth.
Yeah.
So it's helping keep up with it. And then you see a lot of dogs, small ones that don't eat the hard stuff. So that's a little difficult, but that's, we can play hand in hand with that. I think it's a great idea. So yeah.
Well, we can give them a little. I've given bones to even the smaller dogs, 10 pounds and under. And what I do, this is going to sound gross. All vegans, please forgive me. We have these dehydrated like chicken feet or duck feet, and you can break off the toes and just give them like toe by toe. Anyway, I don't want to gross people out.
Since you bring that up, and by the way, everybody, I'm checking out the website, Mal's Pals petdentalcleaning.com for those of you who are listening on a podcast. Mal's Pals petdentalcleaning.com. I'll share it again but I want to ask a quick question to both of you. You know, we got these things, these chicken feet, and they kind of almost look like they're like prehistoric. I know you know the ones I'm talking about, Valerie, because like
Yeah.
we started getting them before you had the store, like up here on Long Island. And
Uh,
it's the weirdest thing. Let me ask you a question. Like, I always remember growing up and people saying with dogs they shouldn't have chicken bones, but like those chicken hands. What's the story there?
it's
Because
cooked. They're referring to the cooked
to the
bones.
cooked bones,
Yeah.
so basically, if I had like wings, like big wings that are not cooked, that are raw,
Uh,
that bone is not a problem.
Not
What
a problem.
what is the problem? Do they splinter when they're cooked? Is that what
Yeah,
it is? Okay.
that's exactly right. Yep.
Got it. Okay,
So
perfect.
never, ever, ever give a dog cooked bones. The ones that we have that are not frozen raw, they're dehydrated, but that's not cooking them. It's just sucking the moisture out of them. So yeah, never give the cooked bones. Mal, I have a question for you. I
Yeah.
have to jump in when I can because Tommy and I suffer from the both situation where like when a question pops in, we have to we have to get it out.
Okay.
So
Here for it.
do you, since you're mobile, which I love, we have a mobile groomer and it is the best thing ever because I don't really, my dog's 14 now. I don't want him to be put in, a kennel or a crate after his haircut and wait for us to come and get him, even if it's 20 minutes, I don't like that. Anyway, the question is rather, do you, since you're doing one dog at a time, right, in the van? Okay.
Mhm.
One at a time. Do they have to have all of the current like vaccines?
Yeah, we ask for all the vaccine records.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
I'd imagine that would be an insurance law or something too, right?
yeah, well, it's mainly because I mean, with parvo and all that, and Bordetella, it can actually we do sanitize everything, but yes, we're doing one dog, and then we clean the van, we sanitize all of our scaling equipment, all of our tools. But if the dog has, God forbid, has something, we're getting another dog in the van afterwards. We just don't want to
Mhm.
risk it. I mean, they're not playing
Yeah,
together or anything, but yeah, we
right,
ask for records. And I know there's some people that want to be holistic and don't want to get any of the shots. And we'll discuss it further with clients that way, and we'll do a thorough cleaning.
right.
I mean, even extra. I mean, we'll figure it out for the clients
Yeah,
because I know a lot of people like to use us because they are super holistic and don't want to get the shots and don't want to go over anesthesia. So we find ways around it. We do ask
yeah.
for records though, but we have really, really strict sanitization protocols. So um,
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, we
Also,
have all kinds of things in that van that you wouldn't realize. But
ooh,
yeah, it's one-on-one in the van though. It's just one girl, one dog because it's and cats because it's just a calming environment and it keeps the animals more calm and it's actually a smaller space than you would think.
mm. I
It
wonder if I should actually bring my cat Guillermo. The other one, Phoebe, forget it. She's not going anywhere. She's no. But Guillermo is like such a calm, cool cat, and he's a rescue. We got him like a year and a half ago, and he was an outside cat. Anyway, in spite of that, he's so friendly, and he's missing his two fangs on the top. So I'm wondering because of that, maybe his other teeth are compensating or overcompensating, and I'd love for you to take a look at him. I had another question. How did you like, how did you know or acquire this skill set? And then also, I guess you're teaching other people. Like, is there a course that you offer or anything like that?
So you kind of know the story. It started out with another franchise, and
Right.
we had training and certifications through them. Um,
Okay.
then we didn't really align in our beliefs, and I found a veterinarian consultant and went out and spoke to veterinarians. Went out and spoke to veterinarian techs. I actually got a animal physical therapist. I gained all the knowledge that I possibly could to provide the best care, and I left that franchise and I started my own because I don't believe in just going in and getting it done and popping out there because it's dangerous. There are a lot of things that I think, and I'm a clinician, so with humans, not with animals, but I know sanitization and I know things that I should have been looking for. So my girls are trained in how to do everything, and I took it a step further and a step further and a step further. So yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it's as you know, like you said, it's been a lot of things that and obstacles we've had to overcome. That is one of them, but I'm proud of it because I know what we're doing is safe.
You mentioned that you mentioned Mallory, you mentioned the franchise. So, and I see your branding, and it's really cool. It's got like the A. Well, if you're imagine this, everybody. If you're just listening, close your eyes. The A in Mal's has a paw. Shocker, Val. Right? We can't. Nobody in this world with our industry can do anything without putting a paw somewhere. And then the P is broken in half, like with a toothbrush, which is super cute. So
look at the toothbrush. It's a dog's mouth. It's teeth.
Oh, it's teeth. Oh, even
in the toothbrush. So it's a toothbrush with
people didn't want that big close up of my face that I just gave them. Closer up my third monitor over here. That's funny, Tommy. I do see the teeth. That is even cooler. I need Val, guess what I need? Guess what I need, Val?
A hoodie.
A hoodie. You got any orange hoodies? Their colors are orange. Do you see that?
Orange and lavender.
Yeah, orange hoodies. Yeah. We need some of those.
Tommy is a shameless, he will just throw things out there, and sometimes it works. I think he's got half of his closet supplied by prior guests sending him hoodies.
Well, listen, I mean, I like to wear hoodies. Mallory, just saying, if you had hoodies, and I would buy it. I don't need it to be given to me, but I'd like to rock.
You're on something.
Rock one of the orange hoodies. But the question that I was going to ask was, you mentioned that you were in a franchise model and it didn't work out or whatever. Now you're here. Is that part of your vision? Are you looking to franchise, or are you just looking to keep them all, like all of your growth, like internal, like that?
So actually, it's funny you ask. I am trying to grow in the upstate, but then I'm in the works with some other partners to expand in other states. And it's not going to be Mouse Pals. It's going to be another name.
Oh, we're losing the name?
No. Mouse Pals is still going to be, what we have here is still going to be Mouse Pals.
Got it.
But what I'm going in with somebody else is going to be another name. But
you're like white labeling.
Do what?
You're like white labeling.
Yep. It's exciting. But yeah, they align with everything. Same thing. I mean, it's a lot for one person to do. And the hurdles, you said, I did expand here.
Yeah.
And we bought a second van, and it was so exciting. Then the van had an issue, and we spent a lot of money on that repair. 3 days later, a man drove through a red light and took out the front end of our van. Thank God. My girl was fine. She was shooken up a little bit, but no injuries. But it put us out. We had to cancel appointments and figure out how to get back on the one van for a little bit. I bought another one. I can't make this up. I bought another one, and while I'm trying to get insurance to pay for the last one, and they didn't even compensate enough for the loan and all, it takes a lot. There's build out there, there's wrapping.
Yeah.
That was a loss, but my girls were positive. Everybody was doing good. Got this other van. As soon as I got it, the check engine light was on. I'm not kidding. And I brought it in. I think we drove it maybe 20 miles. We brought it in. They said it was like $1,400 repairs. We got some more stuff done to it. Then my girl's running it again for a day, and the check engine light came back on. We take it in. We need a new engine.
Oh my God.
You weren't buying these vans new, right?
No. They don't make them anymore.
Oh, so they're cool. What are they called? I'm going to show it for everybody. What are these type of little vans called?
So one's a Ford Transit Connect, and the other one, the one that's in the photos, it's a Nissan. No, that one's the Ford.
Oh, that's Ford.
That was after we got hit. So that's the Ford. And the other one is a Nissan Transit Connect.
Got it.
And they're not that easy to find, right?
So I had to buy, both of them were out of state.
Why is this the specific van that's important for you to have? I mean, there's new things on the market. So what's the importance here?
So I'm researching different vehicles now because they don't make these anymore. But the importance of that size is because it's small in the back. We don't want it so small that we can't move around, but we want it small enough to keep the animals calm.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it's really, I mean, the size is important, but now it's the bigger like transit vans. They don't make that size anymore. So yeah,
what would be interesting is like if you had vehicles that it was like the smaller one is for like, 20 pounds and under dogs or whatever, and then you have like bigger ones for the Danes and the Mastiffs and the
yeah. I mean, and I think we're figuring it out. I think we might go minivan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minivan. I think that's going to be the perfect size if I can build it out right. So
Yeah. I bet you'll find a way. So here's a question I have for you, like marketing wise. I mean, this is stuff that I always struggle with in my head because there's so many options. There's so many choices in marketing, right? Everything from, a billboard to sponsoring someone's email or obviously social media boosting and all of these things. So curious to know, like, what have you done, if anything, other than social media? And what do you feel has worked the best?
Okay, so jumping into this, I mean, all of it. I had no clue what I was doing when it came to that. Not a thing. Computers, which is I know that's not my thing at all, but I don't know how I figured it out. I did. I started with social media. That was, we got Instagram up and going, but I honestly just went out into the community and spoke to as many people as I could. And my dog Broccoli. I took lots of walks and he gets a lot of attention and I just spoke to people. And then we got the Instagram going, the Facebook. I pay for meta ads. It's just one ad that has been running over and over again. I think it's time. I'm learning. We've got to change it up.
So let me ask you, so you're handling your own social media, you do it?
Yeah.
Or one of your teammates does it, or
I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the girls with every customer. We take a before and after picture anyway, because we want you to keep it in the charts and we keep it in our medical charts. Well, I call them medical charts, but our charting. So we can see if there's been changes between cleanings, but we also use those in social media. So I'll post those or I'll go take videos of the girls. Instagram.
I love those before and after pics. I don't know if you can find some, Tommy, but they are.
We've got we do carousels. So, and then I did hire somebody to take professional photos. We asked clients.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, everything that you can with social media is I found that's been big. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You should be proud, and also it speaks volumes that your training is clearly on point, because if you can have other people do what you do, that's how you grow. No, I was just curious because I see your stuff all the time, so I didn't know if you had anyone, like handling that for you, but it's great stuff. And oh shoot, I just had another question. Oh, I was going to tell you something. So what you're doing, or what you have done and continue to do, being out in the community and talking to people. And in the old days, Tommy and I used to call that networking, but now we call it pet working.
Love it. I'm going to start using that.
You can borrow it for sure.
Love it.
I love this. So one time Cheeto got his nails cut. The guy at, it's called like Fancy Nails or Fresh Nails or something up the block here, and he gave him a bow tie like that. And I know that's not safe, Valerie. I know you're gonna be like, Tommy D, that's dangerous. You can't trim your butt.
No, I think they're adorable.
That was actually the client. He came in like that.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
He was ready to go.
I love that. So
we pet work a lot.
Yeah, I bet. Look at this one. Look at this guy. Who's this?
We did do that. That was us. So, and like Halloween costumes on him. We try to make it fun for both the owners and the pets.
So here's a question: what about a dog, or I guess, or a cat, who's showing signs of, just being nervous, maybe a little anxious? How do you get them calm and to trust you?
Well, we take our time with them. So the girls take their time get to know them. They touch them in certain ways. So it reassures them. We test out, can we touch their mouth? Can we touch their mouth with a toothbrush? Can we touch their mouth with this? If they are too anxious, we stop.
Mm.
Because we don't want to put that animal in a compromising position or scare them to death. So we
Mhm.
have stopped, and we'll then refer you out to the vet to get trazodone or something if they have to have it. So there's two avenues you could go. It's anesthesia, or try a medication, or even a CBD or a calming, but we do not, we don't provide it, because I'm stepping back from that. I'm letting my customers make that choice.
Mm.
We don't have that many clients that are too anxious to do it. We've had
Okay.
people that can be aggressive, but that's just in nature. Like, that's
Mm.
another reason why we separate the animals from the clients, because it's not that the dogs are being aggressive or mean. It's they're trying to protect their owner. That's usually what it comes down to. But the girls are educated in animal behavior. They know what signs to look for. They know how to calm them. Yeah, I mean,
That's great.
yeah,
That's great. I'm
they're
glad I asked that question. I refer customers out all the time or direct them to websites for like certain things that we don't carry or don't carry yet.
Mhm.
And but like for example, this is going to sound really weird, but I just learned a lot about a product which is basically a fecal transplant, right? And it is working wonders. And apparently, this practice has been around for like hundreds and hundreds of years, like ancient Chinese stuff. And it's also working wonders for humans. But we don't carry it yet. It's from Legacy Biome. And I just texted a customer yesterday and I said, listen, don't wait for us to get this. I really think your dog is a great candidate for this based on everything that we've discussed and all of the symptoms that she's exhibiting. She's a new customer, and I just don't want her to have to wait. So I sent her the website, and I do. The point is, I sell stuff we don't sell a lot.
Yeah.
My husband loves hearing these things.
I think
Great. It's great for the bottom line, right,
Yeah,
Valerie?
yeah. It's like,
yeah, that's so funny. I think I've seen you do that.
yeah, probably. I mean, like I
Yeah.
really, and I send out recipes all the time for like I tell people, let's use bone broth, classic example. I swear by that recipe. That is what started us changing the way we feed all of our pets because we saw results. So we have several brands of bone broths in the store. And I tell people all the time, listen, especially if I know they're cost conscious, I will say, listen, you can buy this. It's going to be $10 or $11, whatever. Or you could take that same $10 and use this crock pot recipe, which will yield you 4 times the amounts,
Yeah.
maybe five. And
Val,
yeah,
that's just, I mean, listen, that's the consultant, right? Like, I know you're not into self-promotion, and that's something I always give you a bit of a hard time about. But
yeah.
because, and I mean that positively, what you're doing, because listen, I've been in sales my entire career, but we consider ourselves for the most part consultants, because unfortunately, the profession, which is a wonderful profession of sales, unfortunately has a negative connotation, because the guy used to go, want to buy a watch? Want to buy a watch? That guy who, that's kind of what we're up against as professionals. And then when I hear you talk about how you're consulting with people and they do go home and make the bone broth, or they're coming back. And if they don't come back because they don't live in town, they're sending people to you. And that's what sounds like
Yeah.
relationships. That's what it sounds.
Well,
That's
thank you.
what I say. It shows that you truly care about your clients and the
Yeah.
animals, and
See,
that's what we do too. When we see animals behind that, like, okay, there's possibly an abscess here or something, or a loose tooth.
yeah,
We don't do it. We say
right.
go to your vet, because that is a time where you need to go to the vet. They need
It's
to be on
also just
antibiotics.
right. And it's also just that, you know, I know what it's like. I think most pet parents know what it's like to be worried about your pet or, to have any kind of concerns, right? So we do it's food and treats and supplements. So a lot of times we're getting dogs that, we're like the last resort. We're like, because we're holistic, right? And we're getting the dogs that have been to 4 or 5 different vets and got GI issues. They've been on steroids and they've been on antibiotics and they keep trying different prescription foods and all of that. And I know what that's like because my dog suffered when he was younger And it turned out it was the food. But my point is, like, you're so desperate to help the animal. Why would I make anyone wait?
Yeah.
Or like, why would I not be that resource and say, listen, this helped my dog.
Yeah.
Here is a recipe. If you don't want to take the time, or you don't have a crock pot or whatever, then sure, here you go. You can buy this, whatever. I also personally feel that they come out better when you're cooking it with love. It's just a theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how could I even contemplate, like, the woman that I recommended the fecal uh, microbiome transplant to? Why would I want her to wait a week or two when her dog could benefit tomorrow? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just so I can make a cut? Like, who
Oh,
cares?
yeah. Right. That's a beautiful thing, and that is what human beings are supposed to do, right? Even in a capitalist society, it's cool that you do that. And guess what? It will come back tenfold because that person is going to become your customer or not and become a great referral source if they're not your customer. And that's just what and that's not why you're doing it. But I'm
I just
telling
want to
you,
help the dog.
I understand that, but I'm telling you, that's how this world works. Is because you do the right thing. You're doing the right thing because it's the right thing. The benefit of that is people love you. By the way, before Mallory jumps in, because I know Mallory had something to say about this. Before you do, Mallory, I want to ask you, Val, would you mind speaking about the certification that you have? Because you're not just somebody who's in the holistic pet food business, who's a salesperson, a business person. You went
Right.
back and for the education. So if you wouldn't mind a little bit about you, my friend,
Oh boy.
what did you do?
Uh, so we own a franchise, and there's certainly training that comes along with that. There's a training manual and all of that. But one day I noticed the business card of one of the owners had a like a gold ribbon icon on it. And long story short, I saw that it was a certification in pet food nutrition. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I took a picture of it and I found it online, and it was an online course, which for me was grueling. Two reasons. One, I hate learning online. I'm such an in person. That's why I wish I was at the expo listening to those speakers and feeling the energy in the room. And it's different. But anyway, I digress. So the second reason, the course for me was so hard because I was never into science at all. Earth science, biology, like any kind of science, I was like, blow my brains out. I was really more of the, as I'm sure everyone's shocked right now, more of like the creative person, right? So I was like, I loved writing, I liked reading, I liked being in school plays and whatever. So this stuff, all of a sudden I'm learning about amino acids and enzymes, and it was so hard for me.
You're not really trying to sell this course right now, that's for sure. I don't think anybody wants to buy this grueling, boring course. Oh my
Well,
God.
it depends on who you are, right? And what your interests are. So I remember saying to my husband, I was like, oh, I had to learn about taurine and this enzyme and whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, I know about that stuff because he was a chiropractor. So but yeah, but you know what? Also, I will pat myself on the back for 1 second, in that when I am committed, like, and passionate about something, which I am, then I become a very good student. And I take notes, I make my flashcards, I walk around reading it out loud because they say that improves your chances of memorizing stuff. And then I panic when it's time to take the test, and I say to myself, I'm not ready. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it Saturday, whatever. I must have canceled on myself like 3 times, finally forced myself to take the test, and I got a 94. So I'm like, what is my problem? It's
What
like
is that? What is the certification in?
pet food nutrition.
Pet food nutrition. So
Yes.
that is an extension of what you do because when customers come to you, you have this knowledge base, not just,
Yeah,
hey, the distributor told me this is good. No,
I
you understand it. Right? You
know.
understand it at a deeper level so you can be more consultative. But in addition to that, that is another service you're able to provide, meaning when I say service, that is something that you can do that for people and you'll do consultations.
it's
So
so rewarding. I can't even express, like, it is the
What's that,
best.
Valerie? That's awesome.
Thank you.
Did you know that, Mal?
I didn't.
The best feeling in the world is when, and we've had so many, there's only one dog that I can remember that we really weren't able to help. I'm very close with the owner because we bonded. I lost my cat Puffy 3 days before she had to put down her dog Vegas, but Vegas was unfortunately 12. And by the time that she came to us, he had cancer. It had progressed too much, but he did for a couple of weeks start to improve. This poor dog couldn't hold in his, number twos, and he would run in the backyard and he would just have messes all over the place. And within a week or so of her switching to the food that we recommended, she sent me a video of him and her walking down the block. And she was like, this is the first time I've been able to walk my dog down the street in public in like a year. So anyway, but we get the before and after pictures. We
Yeah, but
get
some you don't need to see. Those pictures, I don't
no,
think.
no. I do get a lot of poop pictures.
I know you do. Because I know that about you, but there has to be a limit. There has to be some kind of limit.
Yes, there is a line here. No, but we also get before and after. One of my favorites is when a dog is underweight and they can't put weight on, and we're so relieved. That's scary for me sometimes when the ribs are showing and everything. Weight loss, weight gain, just getting them to a healthier weight. Shiny coats, that's a fun one to see. And then, just you hear about all these different issues. And then we've seen people come back and tell us that their dog's tumors are shrinking, that the metastasis, I can't say it, I know how to spell it. It's not growing anymore, it's shrinking. Like, that's exciting stuff, ear infections, all this stuff. Anyway, this is Mal's time. I don't want to, sorry. Oh
It's
my God.
important though because it goes to the way Mal does things too from a holistic perspective. I want to ask Mal how what is the so in business and sales, I'll talk about the total addressable market. So like how often I saw on your website and I saw on your like social $199 the treatment is that I'm putting it out there because I'm seeing it out there on social, so I assume how often, first of all, I have to guess you say upstate, and when you refer to upstate, that means something different where I live, but I'm assuming you don't drive to Long Island. So, but maybe if I lived in the upstate South Carolina area, how often would Cheeto need this treatment?
So we usually recommend every 4 to 6 months. It depends on the dog. It depends on if they've had oral, like actual dental care from a vet before or not. Depends on the age. But we say every 4 to 6 months because with humans, we go twice a year, right? And we're brushing our teeth twice a day. But we show what to look for and when to know, it's time to get a cleaning. Because there are some dogs, it's within 2 months, you're starting to see a little buildup again. And that's usually dogs that don't eat kibble, don't chew on bones, that are small, really, really small and have a lot of teeth. Too many. I mean, just like humans that are, they're crowded, and it just depends on the animal. But that's why we recommend every 4 to 6. So
To go now because I haven't checked Cheeto's teeth ever in 2.5 years now. So I think I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna leave a live show.
Yeah.
I think like I really haven't done that. I didn't know. That's the thing. We do three things on this show. Mallory, Valerie, and I do three things on the show. I love to rhyme. We learn, we educate, and we advocate. And I'm telling you, I just learned. What is it to jazz hands today, Val? Are we doing jazz?
I'm feeling jazzy. I don't
Jazz it up, man, jazz it up. My daughter is in a play like a theater group, and they're called Jazz Hands, so it's funny. But I think I'm not even kidding. Like I've never really looked at Cheeto's teeth,
And
and
most people don't. And
a
I
lot of
forgot
people
the
wouldn't think.
stat. I'm guessing Mallory would remember this faster than I. I read this recently, and I can't remember if it was on your page or one of the holistic vets or nutritionists who I follow, but there is a very large percentage of dogs with periodontal disease after 3 years old. So just 3 years old and up, a lot of them. Do you know that stat? Who said?
actually wrote, so it's 8 out of 10 over 3 years old have gum disease, and nine, that's dogs. So 8 out of 10.
Wow.
over the age of 3.
Oh, that's
And then 9 out of 10 of cats over the age of 4.
It's not just a matter of they've probably done nothing, is what like what we're talking about.
Right. But and I get a lot of customers that are like, oh, I'm such a bad parent. I'm this, I'm that. Oh, how dare I? I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't want people to feel that way because you just weren't educated.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's not out there. And that is one of my main goals, is to educate people, because even if you just, that's why I was saying, start at 1 year old and just teaching customers how to look in the mouth, because we do that too. They're like, hey, this is, if you want to check it out and keep an eye on it when you need to have it done again, this is what to look for. This is how to do it. If we can get out there and really educate people to start, almost like, you know, how to train pets on food aggression, how to prevent that. I don't know if, so we were taught when he's a puppy, you start them, you feed them, and then you touch their mouths while they're eating, or you move the bowl away in the middle of eating, and it prevents them having food aggression later in life. If they don't like, they don't like their paws touched, you start them out as a puppy, touching their paws, touching their mouth. So I want to start that. I want to start teaching people, hey, as soon as they're a puppy, start messing with their mouth.
Yeah.
Start touching their mouth, start rubbing their teeth, even getting one of those little finger bristles, just to get them used to that. And then you can start, won't have problems opening and checking their teeth and how they live. And that's where we come along. Okay, we'll start out.
I just thought of something. This is very, very important. So one of the things that we love to do is events, and that includes both offsite as well as in our store. And we certainly do fun events, and we love those, but I am really also about education. So for example, earlier this year we had a lawyer come in, and a state lawyer, and talk about pet trusts and the importance of including your pets in your estate plan. Coming up next month, we have a local organization, you might have heard of them, Anakin's Trail, and they trap people's pets when they go missing. Very similar, Tommy, to Long Island Search and Rescue. Okay. They're going to give a talk on what to do if your pet does go missing, because most people really don't know. And even if they think they know, a lot of times they're making a mistake by, walking around, calling out their name, probably just scaring your dog away further. Anyway, I digress. The point is this. You are welcome if you'd like. I can arrange for a speaking engagement. We invite our customers. I have to cap it to a certain point for space, but we can do a talk about everything that you're talking about.
I would love that.
I would love that too.
I love that. It'd be so much fun. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
A severe case of FOMO right now. Just saying, like, I mean, I'm going to miss it. I think.
You don't have to miss it, Tommy D. I will pick you up from the airport.
Okay.
From the airport.
Thank you. I'll pick me up on one of them white vans, and somebody could clean my teeth on the way back to the store. Let me ask you.
I guarantee you, Mal, he wants to drive your van. That's him.
I got to be honest with you. Now, what's that?
I said that'd be fun.
Well, it would be a heck of a lot of fun. But here's the thing: I see I'm gonna say the wrong word, but I see like these orange jumpsuits, and I know your girls are not wearing orange jumpsuits. I know they're wearing orange scrubs, but I think it would be so fun if they were orange jumpsuits, like where you step into it and you zip it up like the gas attendant. Like I'm getting one of those jumpsuits.
I was thinking of Prisoner.
Yes, but I was gonna make a joke like before about that, but I'm very connected to a lot of organizations in the nonprofit space that are, working in the prison systems. But I was gonna make a crack, but it's not even a crack. It's like folks that come out from who have been incarcerated are always looking for jobs and things like that. And since you all wear orange anyway, it might just. So here's the thing, though. I think you need orange jumpsuits instead of scrubs, but that's not what we're gonna go We're gonna go orange to green. Here's where we're going. What about those greeny things? Do we like them? Do we not like them? Those things that come on.
Are you asking
I agree with you.
I'm asking both of you, but I'm getting the same answer. So
okay. I got nervous for a second. I'm like, oh no, what if she disagrees?
No, why? What's the story? It's just nonsense? It's no good?
The ingredients are shit.
Are they? I didn't even know. Val, we don't curse on the show.
Right, I forgot. Right.
Okay. No, oh my God. Now we have to do a whole show from the beginning.
All over again.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the P.A.L show.
Well, I did screw up the begin. What did I
Yeah,
say?
so forget it. We'll just scrap the whole episode and we'll start from
Dental free anesthesia. I don't even know what I said.
I don't, it was funny. No, so they're garbage, is what you're saying. You're allowed to curse. I'm just kidding. But they're garbage, yeah? That's okay.
And the reason we are people are like, oh, we give them greenies to help. Well, it might help if they don't ever chew on bones or something hard. It's much better, like Val said, to have an actual bone and not greenies, because the whole point is just they're grainy and they're trying to like help break up some of the tartar on the teeth.
Oh, is that what's behind it? That the idea?
And digestive, I guess, with
Okay.
breath. But
Got it. But if you give them something like a bone, like you said, a meaty bone to work on, that itself naturally is going to do the work. And then, once, once every 6 months or once every 4 months, have
Mhm.
have these women in a white van in orange jumpsuits show up and clean your dog's teeth. Like, that's fun to me. Just close your eyes and that's the visual you get. They just, white van shows up, take my dog, clean his teeth.
I love her colors. Your colors remind me, and I can't remember the name of it now, but there used to be an ice cream flavor that were those colors.
Creamsicle.
no, the push pops.
Yes.
The spin, that's like,
I loved that. Oh,
I
that
loved
was so
them too.
good. Oh my God, I love that. So I'm also a fan of different modalities, right? So I like kind of like layering things also for pets because it changes it. I like diversity in everything, right? Everything from, probiotics and proteins to teeth weapons. So what I'm fascinated with is there are a couple of items on the market. We do carry these, but they are clinically proven to enzymatically break down plaque and tartar. And they're actually from the sea. They're like different types of powdered like seaweeds. And it's so easy. You just like sprinkle it on the food. But I have another really good one. This is my favorite for cats. This is for all the cat people. Um, whenever I make shrimp, I usually, we buy like the big bag of whole shrimp. It has the shell on it and stuff. Oh, so what I do is I will take one for each cat, and I will boil them and then I chill them in the refrigerator. The shells and the legs, everything is still on it. And you stick that in their bowl. It's the first thing they go for.
wait a minute,
And
wait. I gotta go back. It's a
okay,
cold, no, because I don't, so I have a lot of
put the
questions.
shrimp cocktail in the
Yeah, but
shell.
but it's not, so it's a raw shrimp, right?
I boil it.
Oh, you boil it, so it's
Yeah.
pink. It's turned pink,
Yes.
but it's not cracked open. It's still in the shell.
All in the shell. Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
can serve it raw. The thing about seafood, though, for me, is that there's a lot of bacteria
Yeah.
in the sea. So
So maybe Jovi loves that. Jovi loves a shrimp
I
leg.
give it to the cats,
Oh, the cats.
and the cats devour it. Now, not only is it great, the shell and the tail and everything scrapes their teeth, but there's a lot of good ingredients in there that they don't get in their normal diets.
What about dogs, though? Do you give it to Jovi as well, or no?
You can. I mean, sure. I give him raw bones. Why? I could give him a shrimp
Yeah, no, I'm
cocktail.
curious.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, eggs. Okay, I'm sorry, Mallory. This is how this show goes. It's chaos.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're fine.
Joe, we want you to jump it in. My one quick thing is this. I am gonna just say something that I do. Sometimes I make eggs for Cheeto. Now, I like scrambled eggs. Is
Okay.
that okay? So they're not raw, but then I try to give him the eggshells too. So here's my question. First of all, he doesn't. He like turns his nose up at the eggshells. He's not digging that. He's like moves the eggshells out of the way. What though? Because I feel like we had somebody on this show 100 years ago, and we were talking about like what do you put in the bowl, Val? You remember like what do you put in the bowl? And I was being silly and asking those questions. But like one of the things was remind me was it? I've been meaning to text you about this and say.
Right.
Is it just crack an egg in there with the shell and the whole thing? Let him go to work, right?
So here's the eggs are actually like my favorite protein. They are the highest level of bioavailability. They're actually 100% bioavailable to cats and dogs. So that means everything is good for them and they can absorb it, including the shell. Now, certainly you can do raw, you can do lightly cooked. For me, Jovi will eat the shell if I mash it up and mix it around in his food.
I was going to ask you, how do you do this?
No, I don't. I just kind of wing it in there and see what's gonna. I'm more
Yeah.
testing out to see what he's gonna go for. But if it was mushed up like you guys are
It
talking
was
about,
cracked up for him. So it's sometimes they don't know. Now there are a lot of dogs that like there's a lot of people here in this area that have their own chickens.
Yeah,
And we hear all the time that the dogs, if given the opportunity, they will go right in
yeah, right in the
to
coop.
and eat the raw eggs. So anyway, but again, that one was for the cats. I highly recommend boil a couple of shrimp, chill them in the fridge for a little while so they're not scalding hot. But you don't want them to be too cold either because cats actually prefer their food at like room temp. So anyway, just have fun with it. I have videos. I will send it to both of you because
Yeah, I
it's
was gonna say, I want to see this. I like this.
Yeah.
I would,
yeah, so cool.
I think you should do better than just that, and I think you should take those videos and we make little shorts out of them and put them on our social media because that's the
We
fun.
should.
We
We
should.
should.
So when you
And but again, you can't tell my husband because he gets jealous. He's just like, "What are you going to give them all shrimp?" You know, and I'm
come
like,
on,
"Oh my
come on.
God."
Well, look, Valerie, we talk a lot. I know how often you cook in that house. This man is fine. Hef, relax. Okay, relax. You know, give it a
With
cup.
a 5 pound bag of shrimp, and I'm
Yeah,
taking
come
out
on, Hef.
2.
Calm down. Like, the ocean called, Hef. They ran out of shrimp. What are you doing? Little Seinfeld for those of you all who know what I'm talking about. But like, I just think I didn't know this stuff, and that's the things that I learned on this show. Like, who knew that you could just do that, right? But Val, it's about you continuing to educate yourself. You're such a nerd. You're such.
Oh, wait till I tell you I'm going for another certification. But
See,
don't
of
worry, I'm not
course you are.
starting that
See,
until
what am I
September.
talking about, Mallory? I didn't make this up. It's real.
I love it.
Mallory, what do you see as like the vision for like who are your best collaborators? Like Valerie said we do a bit of this pet working. Who do you like to play with?
I,
Honestly, I love a lot of um, boarding facilities and groomers.
Sure.
groomers, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
I mean,
Sure.
look, anyone in the pet industry, right?
Yeah.
Hard
They're
to
all
say.
going to have pet customers or customers, as I like to call
Oh my
them.
God, you push it to the limit sometimes. Sometimes it's like enough.
It's
Everything's got to be.
rough being my friend.
Oh no, yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
All right, I'm done. So yeah, no, I think that and this is why I don't know, Mal, if I've mentioned this to you, but Tommy and I have been doing this podcast now, I can't even believe it, since 2021. And we started doing some in-person events in New York because that's where most of them were, whatever. And they just organically wanted to meet each other and connect with each other like in person. So we have done like these pet working events and I love them. I mean, I've done a couple in the store. I just think that we love finding ways to help one another too, because when you love animals, I love you, period.
Yeah, that's what I've seen though, and I think just because of the service, I say that, but I am blown away by. I see you at every event. I see there's a ton of different. I mean,
Yeah.
um, Nermingtons and
Yep.
Living
Love
Company. Everybody is just so I don't know, friendly and welcoming, and yeah, I think it is because if you love animals, we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There,
Super
I've never
supportive.
felt
Right.
any like competition or
Yeah.
hate. Like it's been wonderful. Like
Pet
the
parents
community is
are the best people.
oh,
They're
we
the
love
best.
it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get Guillermo over to you. I'll talk to Hef because he's very in line with wanting to keep their teeth healthy. And we're concerned for him just in general because those two fangs are so important to cats.
Mm.
Yeah,
So there's certain things that he kind of can't eat. I've learned I've got to give him like the softer treats. And although he can handle the shrimp shell, but he does it, I will break him up into smaller pieces for him, but still have the shell on it anyway. But I
well,
want
that's
to keep,
why we want to start doing that with younger too, because having to lose teeth, it makes just like you're saying, he's having a hard time eating things.
yeah, he's got to do the softer treats and stuff like that. And we give him obviously raw, whole ground, like cat food. But that said, preserving the rest of his teeth is really important to us.
Yeah, we go both ways. It's start them young to prevent the loss of teeth, and then
Yeah.
maintain. And then, like I said, we actually have veterinarians send us animals too because heart
Mm,
murmurs or they're too old to be put under. And
mm.
they just need the cleaning. And those are some awesome vets.
Oh, yeah.
some vets because
Plus, I want you to meet my cat. You got to meet
well,
my
I'd meet your cat. I'd be happy to meet your cat.
Yeah, so all right, we'll talk offline about we'll get a date going and you can give me a title for your event. I'm so excited to have you speak.
I'm
Like
excited.
our
I'm
customers are gonna love you, 100%.
Yeah. So I'll make sure one of the girls is there too. And then we have not next Saturday, but the Saturday after.
Yes. So Mal's Pals is coming to our 2-year anniversary party. Tommy D, it's not too late to get your ticket. Uh,
When is your 2-year anniversary party, Valerie Heffron?
May 31st. And this is going to be a ridiculous, so much fun event. Like, so 10 to 2. Get this. First of all, we're combining it with a fundraiser for a local dog rescue, of course.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's Dog Squad.
I
The
love
prizes are so great. We have the grand prize winner is going to receive over $500 worth of gift certificates and stuff at Hampton Station. So we've got electric bike tours. We've got the escape room artists for people that like that stuff. Craft axe throwing. We have oh my gosh, I can't even think anymore. I don't want to forget anybody. There's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, and it all adds up to over $500. So for that alone, you should buy a couple of raffle tickets. We also have Mal's Pals is donating a $100 gift card. That's 50% off your very important dental anesthesia-free cleaning. Got it right that time. And then also just like other prizes from vendors that we have. There's going to be local farmers there. And this is one of my favorites. There's going to be an activity, which is we have these little like 5x5 canvases that we're going to put some acrylic paint on, slip it into a Ziploc bag, put some yummy stuff on top of the Ziploc bag. Your dog is going to lick it off the bag and create you a very beautiful and unique, one of a kind piece of
Did you
art.
come up with that, or did you see that somewhere? That's a great idea.
No, that is from our prior guest who I love and adore so much up in your neck of the woods, Ann Levy with Pooch's B&B.
Is she doing that? She's done that now?
She does so many incredible activities. And then I text her and I'm like, where'd you find that? Where'd you get that? Tell me what to do. She's
that's
amazing.
So funny. Hey, you remember how I met her? She was singing the national anthem,
Yeah.
at a event out on Long Island when I was scooping Italian ices. Like that's how that happened. Just so talk about pet working.
So random. She's one of my faves. And so, oh, and then the other thing I should mention this is that at this event, I'm actually going to have my own little table, and we're launching for the first time Val's Pals doggy ice cream and bone broths. So
love that.
I have a lot of work to do.
Killing it. You're killing it, kid. You're doing a great job. I'm very proud of you.
Isn't that so cool? We're going to have Mal's Pals and Val's Pals at the same event.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be
I mean, how can you not come here, Tommy D?
I'm just looking at my calendar right now. I'm looking at the other monitor, to be honest with you, to try and get to see what goes on at the end of the month.
And I just want to mention, because this is something that is truly unique. And number one, I created the ice cream, started with the doggy ice cream because I really couldn't find one that ingredients I liked. Most of them have crazy bad ingredients like artificial coloring, and they add sugar, and sugar is one of the worst things you could give to your pets. Also, things like guar gum and xanthan gum, which we don't need that stuff either, by the way. But anyway, the base of all of my ice cream is a locally sourced goat milk from Palmatier Farms. I love working with local farmers, and I have ingredients that no one else is using. I have things like microgreens from a local grower. I have, get this, you're gonna love this. I have ground fish in one of my flavors, so it's literally goat milk and ground herring. I know it sounds disgusting to us, it is, but for dogs, it's really healthy and they love it. Anyway.
Do you know what, like, one of the most valuable things, this is not a joke, on this planet is?
Microgreens.
No. Maybe microgreens. But this thing that I'm going to tell you is more, I know nothing about microgreens, but let me just let you know on something. The formula they use to make Coca-Cola is one of the most valuable things on this planet. Stop telling people what you stop telling people your freaking recipe.
Well, I'm not giving the portions, but
I'm just telling you. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not kidding.
I know, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's just kind of like the bone broth. Like I have a batch of ostrich bone broth going right now. If somebody wants to do it and they're going to give that to their pets, I will happily give them that recipe. Go for it because
I
I want
understand.
the pets to
I
benefit.
understand. I understand. I
All right.
really, and I'm on Google trying to figure out how long the drive is from Long Island to where you
Oh,
are.
that's got to be long.
That's
It's
long.
12
Yeah.
hours, 12
12.
hours.
Yeah.
And
So
if you want to go 6 hours, you could stay overnight one night in beautiful Shenandoah Valley, which I highly recommend.
really, yeah. All right, we got to figure this out. Who knows what's going to happen? It is 4 children and 6 different sports teams going on this spring, so we'll have to see how that shakes
You're
out.
not busy at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
No,
right.
exactly. They'll be playing for a lot more years. All right, we have to
I
bring the show to a
know.
close because not because
Uh,
we want to, just because we've been talking for a long time and we have to stop. Mal, how do they find you? I showed some of the stuff, but shout out the socials if you could for me real quick.
Of course, at Instagram, it's at Mal's Pals _ Greenville. And Facebook is Mal's Pals Pet Dental. And you can find our website at malspalspetdentalcleaning.com.
I
quick
love it.
question. Is there, I promise my last question, but if someone wants to book an appointment, like how far out do you go? Like, are you booked for the next month, 2 months, 3 months, or
It's a
like
couple weeks, but
a couple weeks? Okay.
sometimes we have cancellations but we'll usually post if we have cancellations and see if anybody wants those spots. So
Okay.
it's a couple weeks out, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, I have not a question but a comment, and then we'll bring it home. But the last thing I'll say is, I'm very visual, and as I was hearing Valerie talk about this party that she's having, the celebration, I'm seeing your van there, like in the parking lot. Now, to not that day probably because you're going to be partying and talking, pet working, but I think like you could be at festivals and stuff like that, like dog show. Maybe dog show's the wrong thing, but like somewhere in the park and like do like on the spot. Like if I'm walking Cheeto and you're like, "Hey, Tommy D, it's usually 199, but today because you're handsome and we like the Mets, it's like, it's 159." I'd be like, "Fine, whatever. Clean his teeth. Get in there, Cheeto." Like, have you thought about like that kind of stuff?
Done that. We've gone to dog bars. We parked. We used to, like I said, we had one van, then we had two, then we went back down to one. So we were booked out, and that one van was too busy doing appointments. But now that we have the two vans again, we're
Yeah,
able to do those kinds of things. So we'll go to a dog park. Like I said, the dog bar. We'll use the van for events. We did Bark in the Park. So there's
yeah.
a semi-pro baseball team here, and we set up there on the outside and offered walk-in
I
discounts.
love that. That's what I'm saying. Your
Yeah,
little pop-up shop. People love the pop-up shop, man. Hashtag van life. One of these days, I'm just going to disappear with a van and like, it's a whole nother story. All right, we got to bring this show to a close because I'm telling too many secrets. Valerie's telling too many secrets. I'm worried that Mallory's going to start telling secrets. Everybody, pause. Namaste in the attic. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Make it a great day, everybody. Hug your people, hug your animals. Later.
Yay. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you all.
That was fun.